The Irish health system is regularly in the news, with long waiting lists, emergency department overcrowding, and stories about the impact on patients featuring in the headlines. As Ireland's population ages, the need for healthcare will rise. Ireland will need more health workers to meet this demand. In terms of the medical workforce, Ireland will need to train more doctors and get better at retaining the doctors already in the system. The challenge with doctor retention is that hospital doctors in Ireland endure difficult working conditions, long working hours, and heavy workloads. We have spent the past 6 years conducting research with hospital doctors about their experiences of work and the impact it has on their lives. This film will outline the problems faced by hospital doctors and the impact on their lives and well-being before outlining some suggestions for change. Hospital doctors described working in an overstretched, understaffed health system in which they had more work than they could get done. They explained how stressful it was.
I felt like I spent my whole day putting out fires. I didn't ever get on top of the workload. The system didn't work. I felt continuously stressed.
We were all really struggling, and were simultaneously very worried that someone would need to take mental health leave.
Hospital doctors explained how extreme ways of working were accepted as normal, despite the negative impact on their well-being.
I'm so exhausted, I just come home and sleep. I don't have time to cook properly or exercise. I find I can't justify taking time off work to attend routine GP appointments. And I'm often in work so late and on the weekends that I sometimes can't even get my prescriptions for antidepressants filled.
Doctors spoke about rarely finishing work on time and having to sacrifice free time and self-care for their job. They described bringing home work-related guilt about the work not done and patients not seen.
We've been very overstretched this week, and I've taken that stress home. And I feel guilty about that. But it's impossible not to absorb all the misery of unmet need.
Doctors were aware that systemic issues within the Irish health system, such as long working hours and overcrowded emergency departments, create an unsafe environment for doctors and patients alike.
It's unsafe to work for 24 hours straight. It's not safe for patients, or for us. I've nearly fallen asleep at the wheel multiple times on the way home.
Overcrowding, it was just dangerous. There's no other way to put it. You're there as a junior doctor trying to see all these patients, and you're trying to write your notes, and you've got people on trolleys, which is unacceptable.
The toll on doctor well-being is significant. Doctors described feeling exhausted and burnt out while working in the Irish health system.
I don't have a work-life balance. I cry myself to sleep at least once a week because of the frustration and anger I feel at my job, and because of the impact it has on every other aspect of my existence.
Difficult working conditions deteriorate further whenever the health system must respond to a crisis. Recent crises include the recession, the COVID pandemic, the HSC cyber attack, and the HSC recruitment freeze. Deteriorating working conditions are detrimental to hospital doctor well-being. In response, some doctors seek to exit the health system to protect their well-being. Some opt for reduced working hours or early retirement, while others opt for emigration. During the recession, Australia became a key destination for Irish doctors. In 2024, 624 Irish doctors received Australian working visas. This is twice as many visas as were issued to Irish doctors in 2018. And is very high compared to the 750 Irish EU doctors that graduate in Ireland each year. When we interviewed Irish doctors in Australia in 2018, they explained why they had moved there.
I was going to leave medicine before I came out to Australia. I was definitely suffering burnout when I moved out here.
They also explained how better staffing levels and better working conditions in Australia enabled them to be a better doctor.
When I'm more balanced, I'm much better at my job. I have more time, I'm not under constant pressure, I'm not exhausted all the time. I'm actually much better with patients here.
For many doctors, the move to Australia brought shorter working hours and better working conditions. This meant they had a better work-life balance and overall quality of life as a hospital doctor in Australia.
The Irish junior doctors, they're just blown away when they come and see how well they're treated, how good their working conditions are, and how they are nurtured and looked after. There's been a big push on doctors' health here, physical and psychological health and well-being, and anti-bullying. Not sure if any of that's happened in Ireland yet.
Irish doctors working in a better resourced, well-staffed health system in Australia were reluctant to return to Ireland because of the working conditions.
It would distress me to return to work in it. The system might have changed since I've left, but I've a suspicion that it hasn't. And that would be a significant concern to me returning home.
Alongside a high rate of doctor emigration, Ireland also relies on the inward migration of doctors to staff its health system. Internationally trained doctors account for 43% of doctors registered in Ireland and 71% of new entrants to the register in 2022. This reliance is out of step with the WHO Global Code. Ireland's high rates of outward and inward doctor migration stem from a failure to retain doctors in the Irish health system. Ireland continues to change the doctors in the system rather than changing the system itself. To build a thriving medical workforce, Ireland must get better at doctor retention by improving the working conditions for hospital doctors. For this to happen, the Irish health system must get better at listening to frontline hospital doctors. Almost 1,200 hospital doctors have taken part in our research since 2018. They have told us how it feels to work in the Irish health system and also how the system could improve. We have shared this information with policymakers and politicians. We hope that this will inform health system improvements that will result in better working conditions and improved doctor retention. Our research shows that it is possible to better understand the everyday work of a hospital doctor. There is huge potential for health workers, researchers, hospitals, and policymakers to work together to improve retention and strengthen the health workforce. To enable this work to continue and to extend to other groups of health workers in the Irish health system, we recommend the establishment of a National Health Workforce Research Centre. This would enable the development of evidence-based policy responses to future health workforce challenges. Hospital doctors should not need to sacrifice their well-being and work-life balance to work in the Irish health system. If we expect them to care for us, we need to begin to care for them.